Welcome to the challenge of the day. Practice, practice, practice the art of communication. Begin by being relatable, empathetic. Be a connection creator. Humans are not born with the knowledge and skill set to be great communicators. We're born as a blank slate. So instead, we learn from watching others, being curious, and developing our own style. So make sure you're being a leader and practicing your art of communication. Communication, like any other skill, takes conscious effort, commitment, and practice to master. The key is to practice, 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 then implement and infuse daily so that you can create those great habits and patterns. Effective communication requires each one of us to be open, aware, and centered. You must be mindful of your energy and your emotions. So be purposeful, intentional, and concise with your every conversation. It goes without saying, you must be respectful if you want others to respect you. So treat every person with kindness and decency, and remember, everyone has feelings and everyone is going through different life experiences. And now that brings us to today's challenge. Practice, practice, practice your communication skills. And here are some reminders to help you create those good habits. So first, do be kind and compassionate. Don't always have a need to be right. Do infuse gratitude at the beginning and end of every conversation. Don't be thankless. Do engage intuitive listening. Make sure you're not being distracted by your own thoughts. Do acknowledge and validate. Although you might disagree with the other person's perspective, still make sure they are being told and that you're recognizing them so they want to be seen and heard. Make sure that you're not being argumentative or combative. Do get curious, especially for the things you don't understand or want to know more about, but don't be sarcastic or domineering when you're doing that. Do take time to respond. Make sure that you're not reacting from emotional triggers. Do see the good in every human being. Don't focus on negativity or flaws. We all have them. Do create connections. It's the best way to have the best conversations. So make sure you don't talk down to or at a person. No one enjoys that. Do be engaging. Don't be aloof. Do give your undivided attention. So make sure you're not going to be distracted by social or environmental factors so that you can have an engaging conversation. And do critique when it's possible or applicable or necessary, but don't criticize and don't judge. And that brings me to another point. Being mindful. It's so important to be mindful of your verbal and nonverbal language. For verbal, some examples are your tone of voice. Make sure that you are speaking in a gentle tone of voice, not projecting anger or frustration, and make sure to use inflection. Also, the words you choose to use, be mindful of that. Be considerate of the words you choose. And use positive and optimistic descriptors. Keep the conversation engaging and empowering. And do speak slowly and clearly so that there's no misunderstandings and people don't disengage because they can't understand what you're saying. Your nonverbal, hand gestures. Speak with your hands, motion once in a while. This keeps the conversation engaged and lively. But don't wail and flay your arms around like this. This is distracting, so don't do that. Eye contact. Make sure that you're making eye contact, but don't make it creepy. Don't stare a person down. Don't try and pierce through them as if you're trying to look through their soul. That's uncomfortable. Your arms. Keep them soft and loose, down by your side, open and inviting. Not crossed, not shrugged with your hands in your pocket, shoulders hunched forward. Make sure that you're upright and your body is loose and engaging, inviting, soft. And your facial expressions. Keep a smile on your face. Try not to frown or scowl unless it's absolutely necessary, because those are very distracting and also very disengaging. So you want to make sure that you're just very mindful of your verbal and nonverbal language, because it is so important when you're engaging in communication. And that's what today's challenge is all about. To practice the art of communication in your everyday conversations. Be aware of your energy and your presence. Make sure that you are staying fully engaged and present in the conversation. Remember, you set the tone for every conversation with the way you begin and end the conversation, and everything in between. Your verbal and nonverbal cues, your body language, remember eye contact, and your tone of voice are all so very important. These are great ways to start and end your day is with a gratitude list. As we've mentioned before, infuse gratitude into every conversation. And remember, what you say is as important as how you say it. Today's challenge should be something you implement daily. It will foster your growth and your development. And remember, you are a badass communicator.